Hello?
Hello, hello.
Can you hear me? Testing.
Yep, I can hear you loud and clear. We're good.
Oh, right. Good to go.
Mm-hmm. Right on time and everything. See, it's that KirbyKaze difference, Kappa. Jokes aside, so I've been reading. I read over what you said,
Mhm.
and I think that yeah. So that's one of the challenges of Falco. That is one of the challenges of Falco. He's good at when he has control over the tempo and he's tapped into what his opponent's going for. He's obviously very powerful. He has a lot going on there. But when he doesn't have that established, that's kind of his whole challenge. How do we get that established and how do we maintain it effectively against characters that are faster than us? What do we do? And I think in those cases, we have a few options available. So something I'm noticing here is you've talked a lot about, you have it you compared him to Death and Taxes, which definitely tracks. And how do I minimize confounding factors, prevent anything from obstructing what I'm trying to do? And Laser does do that well, but there's also another side of that I think that we're not really tapping into, which is threat, like the quite simply reversal. Because
Right.
reversals are a pretty foundational part of fighting games in general, because they give us a way to turn the tide on the opponent and seize back control, and I'm not really seeing that really represented in this model. So what I would be curious about is, what do you think about options about simple, something as simple as crouch canceling into shine, spot dodge shine? I know that they're somewhat rudimentary, but
Right.
they do fill an important role. I think we can acknowledge that, right?
Yeah, I think that's a good call out. Because I've never I there are a lot of things. I think one of the how do I say this? The drawbacks. I started playing Melee as a Falco main.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just kind of always been a Falco main, and I've tinkered around with Marth on the side more recently. But I've learned the game in the context of Falco.
Yeah.
And I think that has a lot of, Falco's very, very powerful. But that comes with a particular drawback, where learned kind of by I've learned to fall into a mindset of how do I establish control? Because the thing about Falco that is both his kind of greatest strength and greatest weakness is every single one of his moves is the perfect tool for a job. But
Mm.
what job that is it's like a very narrow niche. Whereas Fox's up smash or up air or nair all do 10 different things in 10 different places. Whereas in every scenario, I feel like Falco has to be a lot more precise in terms of choosing what his option is.
Yeah.
Um, but the trade-off is he always has something. There is always a correct answer, even if that answer may not be obvious or difficult. There's almost always a correct answer, and it's easy to fall into a mindset because of that. Of oh, I shouldn't be thinking about how I can defend myself in this scenario. I should instead be thinking about how do I better choose the correct answer in this scenario where I messed up. And so a lot of my mental energy over time has gone into kind of streamlining winning neutral and kind of working on punish game. But my defense is sorely lacking, because of that, and also kind of the mindset of, well, if Falco's a glass cannon, if I get hit, I die anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that that's not correct, but it's kind of I think it's not, and I never really spent time rationalizing it. But as a result, the idea of just spot dodging is not something I'm still working on trying to get into a habitual thing. It's still one of those things where I'm like, oh, I can spot dodge here rather than just doing it automatically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Likewise, CC Shine. I'm quite proficient at Shine out of Shield, which is funny because I never practiced it. It just started happening one day. And That's really the only Shine Out a Shield, I think, is the only reversal tech that I utilize habitually and reliably. And that is something I do need to integrate more into my game plan is other broader defensive tech.
Yeah, I'd say that ASDI down and crouch cancel are two great places for us to start. And there's a little
accidental ASDI down because I play Falco.
Oh yeah, no. But now we're gonna add intention to it, so it's gonna be even better. So I pulled up I Need Data because I wanted to show you something that I wanted to, I think will help put things into perspective. Because we talk a lot about how Fox's offensive tools are so overpoweringly strong, and they are quite good. Don't get me wrong. I would never, far be it from me to ever imply that Fox is anything but the best character in the game by a metric ton. But there's something I want to... What can you, based on the calculations here, you've used I Need Data before, right?
Once or twice. I'm not very familiar with the tool, but I've used it a couple of times.
Okay, so we can read out what's going on here. We've got Fox here, he's the attacker. We've got Falco as the victim. We have him doing clean nair, so 12 damage nair, Sakurai angle, the goods. We have Falco ASDIing down in holding down in towards him for crouch cancel, and he's ASDIing into the ground here with C stick. And what's interesting here is I want us to point something out here. We could even just do it like this. We could have the two match, I think. This will still work. And look at how we're at 72. And when we're crouching, we're not lifted off the ground yet. We're not even knocked over yet.
Okay.
So this would put us at 84 after the hit, and we're not even toppled. Isn't that interesting?
And just to make sure my understanding is correct, ASDI is it selects the direction of the left stick unless there is a right stick input, at which point that overrides.
Correct. But I've just had them match just for simplicity. ASDI. Oh, we actually have a slight mismatch, so it should be here. This is fine. Yeah, it's basically the same input. But you can see that, what we have going on here is this coordinate matches with it, and even with that in mind, there's no smash DI, there's no complicated, sophisticated timing. I'm pretty sure the Falco buffer walks out of this, so, most of the knockback is cancelled anyway, too. So it's just... we can tank these hits for, as long as we plan them a little bit around, having access to our crouch, which your laser is actually a very good tool at creating. Because if we think about, what our laser does when we're, in scramble situations or running away from people, what does it do? It usually, puts out a hitbox, the opponent goes around it, then we don't have enough time to, set up adequate defense because they've, planned well. Maybe they've wave landed across the platform they're coming in after. But all we need is a frame. All we need is a frame to get into our crouch. And then all of a sudden, this kind of stuff is possible. For us to just withstand their attack and then counter hit.
So we're thinking about laser in this context as not just as a tool for setting up, but also as a tool for setting up an offensive or defensive hitbox, but also for setting up a scenario where if the opponent is getting in on us, the laser gives us frames that we can use to establish a defensive position.
Yeah, crouch. I mean, it's similar to how our down air works, right? How many times would you say you get, direct... as a proportion, how often would you say that you get punished directly for a down air, a defensive down air, one in place, versus, on landing lag? How often would you say you get hit, out of the 9 frames of L-cancel lag, versus the action that follows after? Probably, I would guess it's probably more of the latter, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's usually the beginning of whatever's coming after that.
Right. So what if we crouched there? Because all we need is a frame.
Yeah, that actually, I tend to just want to dash back or start another laser. Usually both. But just crouching the whiff punish is definitely pretty powerful. Or spot dodging it.
Or even jabbing. Why do we have to? Why do we even have to necessarily give up? Why do we have to give up our spot if they're attacking us on our terms? Why do we even necessarily need to reestablish neutral with another hit? Why don't we just protect our current zone? I think I think
thinking
that
about jab a lot with that in mind.
yeah. And what do you like? So this sounds like it's something that appeals to you then, like
Yeah, because I think what's been going through my mind is it like the initial seed of the idea was a few weeks back. I've been playing a lot of very good Marth players who have been beating me around, taking me on a tour of Final Destination. But I think I mentioned this in one of our earlier lessons. Um, Falco Marth is only even if Falco is leveraging the asymmetry that like he has on Marth, which is faster and like quicker hitboxes. And if like I'm trying to hit Marth with like down air at a close range, like I'm just gonna get grabbed. But if if I'm throwing like F tilts and jabs and like little intermediate moves to set up for the down air, that's what really is like that gets me the meaty like combo openers.
yeah, like no, absolutely. So like I think that I think we're tapping into the same thing. I think we're tapping into the same thing here, and I think that this is just really an expansion on that idea, but we need to like spread it out throughout like more of the cast. Because the nice thing, one of the nice things about Marth, and I was going over this with another like Falco player, Kinky Ding, who's I think at a similar level to you actually. Like he's kind of he's an old school player who kind of got to a certain level, who kind of got to like an okay-ish level with like Falcon and Ganon, but then like he took a long break. Now he's coming back, and like he wants to play someone more technical, who's like a little bit more of a precision machine. So he's on Falco, and he was asking like, why is Marth easier to control than like these other characters who I struggle with this whole like allow them to like if they just wait for me to make the first move always. If they like are more patient than me, I find that Marth is easier to deal with than a lot of these other characters. And one of the things we broke down was that like mechanically Marth has problems with being the person going second. And I think that's like kind of what we're tapping into when we like when we're willing to like hold our ground, when we're willing to create traps for him to run into. And I think that we need to like there's a need for us to expand that outwards. Now, I think with that in mind, what are some other things that could work in those spots? I think that we're really getting into like how do we wall with Falco and guard our zone, and I think that what you've pointed out here is that there's a problem with dashing away with him a lot of the time, even if we're already in a scramble, because he is slow. I think that before we're in the scramble, it's quite good to use our movement. But like once we're in it, we kind of have to fight a little bit. So what are some other things that we can do that would just be generally good there?
Yeah, because I was thinking because we were talking about that that kind of back air dash back laser thing, and that's great until you're that's a whole thing there, but I'm not going to get into that right now. It doesn't work up close because you have to start the dash back. Falco's slow, and then wave dash. Falco's jump squat is a million years. So you kind of just putting yourself in frame advantage. So if you're up close, like Falco has to commit to like being in the scrap or roll. But like if like Falco decides to maintain the space, like my thoughts are initially like crouch cancel into shine or down tilt or spot dodge shine, spot dodge grab, shield grab.
Up tilt?
Up tilt, yeah. Up tilt's... I love up tilt. It's such a good move. But in scrambles, it's so hard to, like, be precise with the stick in the way that up tilt requires.
Would it help if you do you know the coordinate ranges on where you can up tilt? I find that often is like something that trips people up. Have you ever seen this before?
I've like spent a while like exploring that. And I don't like know like the numbers precisely, but I know like on my controller like where the stick can be for me to get up tilt. My thing is like in a lot of, I guess what I'm thinking about specifically is if I'm in a scrap, usually we're face to face. And so an up tilt requires a turnaround in which turnaround up tilt is like you have the little turn and then the little up movement. Unless I'm buffering something else, which is a whole thing.
So I've sent you an image, and let me know if you've seen this before. Because, like...
I think I know what it is about what you sent me. Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, so, like, one of the things that I'm doing with Falco right now is just getting used to, like, aiming for those 2 points. It's not, like, super easy, but I think that it is a worthwhile like, I think that it is kind of worthwhile to, like, invest the time to, like, get used to doing those 2 corners. Just because it is, like, a very powerful option out of, like, you know, in a neutral position, and the ability to do it is quite good. Combining it with jabs can be a way that you can make it easier on yourself. Like, jab into turnaround up tilt, like, that can be a reasonable wall.
Oh, that is easier. Okay, wow.
Yeah.
I'll punch open on my other monitor right now.
Oh, show me! Like, that's so much more useful than what I'm doing. Like...
Right, yeah. Share my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Faster melee, slippy. Is that visible?
Oh, yeah, no, we're good. So, like, go jab up tilt.
There we go.
Yeah, like, and you can probably go faster than, like, that was so much quicker. And, like, even if you double jab, like, it's not the end of the world if you double jab, but, like, I think that's why that you see that, like, I think
Why is it easy?
Why is it easier?
Yeah, I can, like, feel that it's easier, but I don't have a understanding of why. Like, what, and, like, am I buffering the turnaround and the second, and during the jab, or?
Yeah, basically.
I didn't know you could buffer turnarounds, so that's...
Yeah, you can do it down tilt too, I think.
Yeah. Down tilt's easy, though, because you can just mash the shtick all the way around, and you don't have to worry about having to turn around.
Absolutely. But, like, I think that what we can see here is that, like, that gives, like, a lot more power to, like, your up-close game. And, like, it does take some getting used to, but, like... Let's try wave dashing into it, or like jumping into it, like nair into it. Right idea. Try not hitting the computer. Just try doing it. So, like, close. Know what? My turn input display, I think, would help. So in general, we're just going to go down. It should be the... Yep, there we go. We can see exactly where we're hitting. Yeah, so I think that, like, stuff like that could actually go a long way because they just give you attack patterns that you can go for. Yeah, CC Shine, one thing that I would recommend testing... This might actually be easier in Direct. Do you want to hop into Direct together for a second?
There we go.
Yeah, so, like, let me give you my code. Do you still have my code, actually?
I think so. Here,
Sure. So let me just lower the volume on mine, because
there we go.
Perfect. So I'm just lowering the Slippy down, and then what's your code?
1 second.
Oh, Deek845. Okay, got it.
Yep, there we go.
Cool. So I'm gonna I want you to hold down and forward, or actually hit me with a forward tilt. So you see how I'm like walking out of that immediately? Like not on this one, but let me try that again. So like. So the way I'm doing that is I'm just holding down and forward into like a certain coordinate on like the downward notch, like on the diagonal notch. Try it on your end, because I want to see if yours buffers walk too. So just down and then forward like here. So if it's not walking, try to like move it a little bit more up and forward along the rim.
Right.
A little bit more. Okay, that's okay.
Gotta really go further than I thought.
Yeah, it's almost like right in the corner. Like it's almost like right in the corner.
It's like a max length wave dash.
Not quite that far. Like, let me see here. What?
Oh, so I think I can. So if I do it like the walk, naturally, I just walk. But if I crouch and then move the stick,
yeah,
it still is in the walk position.
Yeah,
okay,
here I can. Oh, I can jab. Okay, yeah, sure, whatever. But like, yeah, you're basically crouching and then sliding the stick forward. There you go.
There we go.
So then, like, what you'll notice is here, I'm gonna hit you with something harder, but you're gonna notice something. See how you don't take like any knockback from that? It's because the walk is applying momentum against that.
Oh.
So that's how you get some of those crouch cancel shines. Like so. Here, try it on this forward tilt.
Oops.
That's okay.
It's definitely not intuitive, the expectation of how far you can jam the stick to still get the walk.
Yeah, but like you can see how that's useful, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a fob? Do you have a fob or OEM?
What?
Do you have
I'm on a fob one.
Okay. I've adjusted my notches I've adjusted my notch values to make this easier to do. But like that was perfect. So like let's try the other side.
My notch just does it. Or my left notch does it. Okay, right. Okay, yeah. Both notches do it. I just have to be ready.
And you can see like how you can like try to F smash me after this jab. So 1, 2, 3. Like the knockback reduction from that. I know that like we didn't really get it there, but like the knockback reduction from like that property is really, really powerful for getting counter hits. And even just like holding down and forward, it's still good because even if you don't get it, like crouch cancel is reducing the knockback by to 2/3. The trajectory DI we want to stay close is usually down and forward anyway, or like there's some kind of forward input component anyhow. So this just like gives us like all the things we're looking for. It's also good for surviving things. Like this is how we survive Fox up smashes like way long after they should kill us. Cause like I don't even think my down tilt kills you yet if you're crouch canceling.
Nope.
Like that's crazy. Like you're at 180. So I really do think that like one of the things that you mentioned earlier is that one of the frustrations of Falco is that he has a solution to like very specific things. What I'm trying to get at is that spot dodge, crouch cancel, and his like fast, powerful attacks like jab up tilt are kind of like good because they don't actually like require us to know exactly what the opponent's doing in a lot of the cases, right? It's like if they do this like big set of their options, it works. Which is something that's kind of a bit of a relief over his more powerful control tools like his lasers, which require us to know a little bit more about what's going on. Like part of the nice things about these is that they do cover like a large swath of options.
So the trade-off there is I take the hit, and so I take damage, but the result is I don't have to spend as much mental nuance trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing out of it.
Right.
Or like rather than like the quote-unquote correct option where I don't get hit in the first place requires much more game sense and specific knowledge.
I'm not even sure I'd necessarily go as far as to call the other options the correct options. Like if we see a weak fox, if we're at 30 and we see a weak fox near coming in like this, why wouldn't we crouch cancel it?
Can I do this on this low platform? Yes. All right. Yeah, that's a fair point.
like, if we can't, like, if we don't have to deal with, like, the like, because you're saying, like, well, we don't take the damage, but I would say that, like, taking damage is not necessarily the worst thing in this game, believe it or not. Because, like, damage has utility, and like, this will sound crazy, but damage has utility in some matchups. Like, think about how much harder you are to kill at, like, for, like, Peach and Marth and stuff when you're at, like, 100. Or, like, maybe not Peach, but, like, Marth and Jigglypuff when you're at, like, 100 damage. Like, that is a very good reason, I would say, to crouch cancel at some points. Like, the fact...
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, like, the fact that, like, damage is not necessarily our enemy. A lot of characters are more devastating to us when they hit us at 0 than they are when they hit us at 100. And that's just the reality of the situation. Our health bar is a resource, and if we don't use it, like, economically, then we're leaving value on the table.
Okay, I like that. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So, with that in mind, I think that we have a lot to work with here. How do you feel about jumping into some unranked for me, and we can test some of this out? I think that, like, the crouch canceling, using our spot dodge, what are some setups you could use, like, when somebody gets in on us? Like, if I'm, like, a fox and I'm, like, rushing you down, like, what are some setups we can use for this? Because, like, it's usually good to have an idea on what this will look like. In fact, I'll even go the hairy bastard.
I guess CC Shine is probably the easiest to execute.
Also, great tag, Mind Goblin. I know what that is.
Okay. Nobody on Slippy ever recognizes me because I change my tag about once a week. Yeah, so I think CC Shine is probably the easiest to implement. But depending on the spacing, there's also, I can just CC jab, CC down tilt. I can buffer spot dodge into anything. Shield buffer, I guess buffer full hop out of shield isn't great because Falco's kind of slow at that.
I definitely like anything involving, like, down air or back air into, like, instant back air into buffered spot dodge or crouch cancel. I think that those moves, like, naturally present, or, like, jab up tilt into, like, buffered CC or buffered spot dodge. I think those moves naturally present a lot of things that the opponent has, like, those moves present a natural timing mix-up or obstacle that the opponent needs to, like, play around. And I think that once they are playing around, like, that, like, rhythm, then that is where that's the birthplace of, like, dashaways and full hops being possible. But he's kind of like
that's also when I just rip an F smash.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. So, like, he's really more of a power hit character in some of these scraps, the way that Peach is, than he is, like, a movement character, the way that, like, Marth or Fox would be. And I think that's probably what's tripping you up, because you're probably thinking of him as, like, okay, like, top tier space animal fast faller, like, obviously I play him like the other two fast fallers in these scrapping situations. But he really doesn't function the way that they do. He's really got more in common with, like, Peach and Ice Climbers than he does with, like, or Yoshi than he does with the others. Because he's got, like, yeah, he's, like, slow.
Yeah, because I was fiddling around with that dashback laser mix-up. And kind of, I just kept coming back to the thing where it's like, the dashback laser is easy to do. It almost always works. But it's not like, it's low risk, low reward. And then I throw the bear, and if I have the right call out on their approach, it's fantastic. But if I don't, then I get whiff punished. And then that's kind of where I was struggling to, like, find the follow-up. But knowing that I can throw the bear and then just crouch or buffer a spot dodge into something after, and, like, force them to, like, if they want to try and whiff punish it, they have to, like, really know what they're going for. I think that definitely adds a layer to that, make it much more effective.
Also, one last thing, I would say just, like, do the tiniest dash dance of your life, and, like, the tiniest dash away of your life, and then just rocket towards them with, like, rising nair or dare sometimes. Because, like, if they're going to, like, contest, if they're going to be, like, baiting out our, like, back air, that means they're playing pretty close to us a lot of the time. So there's nothing wrong with us just, like, capitalizing on that and, like, putting, like, a threat into their zone. Like,
that makes sense.
Yeah, so I've given you my spectator code. Why don't we fire up some unranked, and we'll go from there.
Here we go. Okay, that's your spectator code. Settings, spectate, start broadcast, button. All right. I'm queuing up a game of unranked, and depending on how I feel, we might decide to go into ranked.
Okay, fair enough.
All right.
So I'm... Okay, cool. Perfect, I see us. We are cooking. Try not to, like, rely so much on wave dash. Like, let's use our, like, actually, you know what? No. Wave dash is fine. Like, you're mostly moving away from him. I just find it, like, makes us inactionable, so I would focus more on, like, trying to, like, dash in those spots.
Okay, yeah, that's going to be a tough habit to break. I live and breathe wave dash.
That's okay. You're doing just fine. Nice. Great. That's a kill. You look so much better compared to when we started. I'm just gonna say it, like... I don't know if it feels that way for you, but, like, it does. It looks like that for me.
Uh-oh. Oh!
I'm glad you went for that ledge dash. This guy, like, seems really laggy.
This guy's incredibly laggy. I'm gonna give him this game and then we're out.
I wouldn't, like, honestly, don't feel obligated to. That is...
I'm gonna say GG's, bad connection. Oh, okay, no, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He knows. Yeah. He's aware.
He knows what's up. Yeah, CRT is melee will never die for that reason.
See, like, we just stayed close, we held down, and we got, like, this huge-ass punish for it. Like...
That's the best pillar combo I've ever done on Marth in my life.
And you know what? There's gonna be better ones to come. That's the crazy part. And, okay, cool. So he's, like, he dash danced around the wake-up shine timing, so we have a few... Now we're playing a mix-up system. And you moved away from him because we had that awareness. So, like... Yeah, that was good. Like, even though we died, we, like, played the interaction system as, like, best we could with the information we had, and we almost got out. Like, we had everything in place to, like, make that a successful, like, escape. The fact that he got us with, like, a read on, like, that fair at the end is, like, you know, that's good on him.
That wave shine forward was way too aggressive, and that is not a get up attack.
That's okay. We are learning new things, and I like that, like, you're noticing that he's, like, keeping his distance more sometimes when he gets close to you. Like, because you've got these powerful hits. And because of that, that scored you a dash dance dash attack. So, like, you can see how, like, the system is making a little more sense. Like, this guy's probably a little stronger than you, maybe, but, like, not...
He's got stuff.
Yeah, but, like, you're able to interact with him. And I bet that feels really good compared to, like, the chaos of, like, what you were describing previously.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, I really feel very comfortable playing against Marth. Even if Marth is, like, way better than me and just kicking my ass. I feel like Marth's cadence is one that I'm much better at, like, getting a read on and adapting to.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, Sheik and Peach.
Honestly, like, control Falcos, like, ones who, like, value his lasers and, like, the way that he, like, controls the flow of the game, I find that those are the three characters that they tend to like fighting. And Jigglypuff, like, Jigglypuff sometimes. Because it's, like, yeah, it's just, yeah, they've got, like, a cadence that's, like, that's very turn-based in a way.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
Nice. We didn't have to back up that far. We could have stayed under and definitely back aired him, but, like, that's all. It's all good. Like, you know what? We got the F smash. It's fine.
Okay, he knows I want this. He knows I want the ambiguous DI to make it hard for him, because this guy doesn't. He doesn't have his little, what's it called, the pivot grab.
Mm-hmm.
So I could be going for that. FD's rough, but, you know, that's just life.
Yeah.
Okay.
So CC Shine, we're learning one of its limitations is it has, like, range issues. But this is where CC down tilt and stuff, and CC down tilt can come in really handy.
That was not quite the right spacing that I wanted. I do not get a lot of glint on my ledge dashes. I used to be better at it, but I stopped practicing, and now they're just kind of sloppy.
I think you're not giving yourself enough of a setup because like you're trying to act on the first ledge grab, but I think that you need to try to like find a refresh if you're going to go for that kind of play sometimes.
I think I see what you mean. Oh, that was almost the cheekiest side B of my life.
Nice up smash choice.
Yeah, he's trying to preempt me, so I think I can just kind of do the shit where I just don't move and let him throw a move and then I punish it. So we'll see how that works out.
We could also use that as an opportunity to wave dash back or dash away. Like, if you're not comfortable with dash back out of crouch, you can just buffer walk forward from a frame and then, like, dash back after.
Oh. He knows. All right, he knows I want to dare him out of shield, and that is my worst habit.
Nice dash dance dash attack.
Okay. Woo! Taking you with me.
We take those.
Yeah, the Falco tax. It applies both ways.
I mean, honestly, like he's screwing around with us, like.
Oh, whoopsie daisies! That was almost a great punish.
I think we need to find a I think I want to see us like find a Fox player or something.
All right, this will be our last game against this guy.
Sure. Watch us like win this one by like 3 stocks, and it's just gonna be like, it's gonna be like this guy. Like the grab choice, like the down tilt. The down tilt could have worked had we true comboed it, and if because it's the right percent for like it to knock over. So like I don't disagree with the choice. When we're further back like that, it's also a good thing to just, like, around, like, 20 up, if we hit the down air, like, I would say that, like, it's pretty good to, like, combo up tilts and down tilts after it if we're a little far for the shine. Because they're safer, there's not, they can't really, they never really go wrong in the same way that, like, shines do.
Randall got involved there in the weirdest possible way, and he saved me.
Don't be afraid. Test it, like, believe in the window. Like, you have more time to hit him than you think you do. Like, in these, like, controlled situations. You just have to trust you got this. And I know that's hard, but believe.
Whoop. Thank you, Randall. Or maybe not. I don't know what's real anymore.
It's okay. Doesn't matter. Like, you say you don't know what's real. I say, why does it matter?
That was... I don't know if that was smart or completely accidental, but that was...
Go for it.
Oh.
It's okay. Because now you learned how not to go for it. Now we go for it differently next time. Because there's never a situation where we don't go for it in some way.
I love down tilt in that scenario.
It's so good.
It pushes him back just enough that the grab whiffs. And you can just rip an F smash.
It is the Ice Climber Slayer. I swear to God. Because it's
that's funny. Never thought about that, but... Oh! Uh-oh. I'm getting Marth. Here we go. Oh, I got Marth.
Honestly, the defense on the last stock was pretty good. We just went for it. We went for like a down air coming out of disadvantage that needed to be a back air, but like other than that, like the decision making was so much crisper than I've seen from you in those kinds of spots. So this is good. Like I think that as you continue to trust yourself more, like this game will click more.
I think something I've been trying to do is actively distract myself while I play. Because after our first conversation, we talked about like getting my thinking brain out of the fucking, like, do the thinking outside of the game. All right, Peach is not Fox, but
Peach is fine.
Different.
Peach is fine. She does put on like lots of buttons, like sometimes. But yeah, tell me about this distraction thing.
Yeah, and I think like because like just I saw a video on YouTube the other day with like 44 views or something. But the algorithm really knows what I like because it was some guy explaining the entire plot of Naruto while playing unranked.
That sounds amazing, yo. Can you send me that?
Yeah, and the premise is, like, I realized, I was like, this guy is doing exactly what I need to be doing, is, like, finding some way to distract his thinking brain so his subconscious can do the shit it's supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Let's look for back airs. Right, let's look for back airs with confidence.
I was just talking. I didn't have a single conscious thought anywhere in that process, and I cooked the shit out of that Peach.
Yeah, and you just got a kill. I would say, like, even the back airs you're doing, press them once you get the pop up at like 90. Press them even harder. Like, don't be afraid to like reverse back air and like just go for like something. Like, don't be afraid to reverse back air if she's in stun. Like, because like you popped her up and it looked like you went like you had like a really awkward follow up with a down air. But I'm just like back air her off the stage.
That was such a good grab. I can't believe I got that.
It was a great grab. And like you DI'd out of like the thing. So like that one I would full hop back air like after that down air, because you see how the short hop down air didn't combo, right? So like that's what I mean. Like if short hop down air doesn't combo,
leg spike. Let's give this ourselves a second.
Nice.
All right, I'm ready. You. All right, we're good.
Nice. Frame trap, love it.
I don't know what you mean by that. I just love down tilt and a laser down tilt.
Laser down tilt stuffs shield trap. It's a frame trap.
Oh, that makes sense.
Like, it basically punishes them for pushing a button because the frames on one move like overlap like properly with another. Sheik is like a really good example of this when she goes for like her aerials into like forward tilts.
On shield.
Exactly. She's like frame trap the character.
That is the most annoying thing about Sheik. It's like all of her weird A button moves that like make it impossible to, like, everything you think is gonna work doesn't because she jabs you or something.
Your spacing is like phenomenal this game. Like, you should be really proud. If I were you, I'd be very proud of like how you're moving here because like you're making.
I feel good. I'm feeling it today.
Let's go. No, Deek's on his way to win. Like Deek next to Only Noob's winner. Like, make it happen. Like, yeah. We don't engage the thinking brain. We just like we're just doing our thing. We're vibing. We're surviving. We're beating this beach.
Yeah, the thought I was in the middle of having was that also I think these coaching sessions are very helpful. Little timing mix-up are very helpful because I'm forced to talk to somebody while playing, and so I like the thinking brain is actively like learning and strategizing and doing stuff that it should be, but like I have to force the like acting brain to be in the driver's seat.
Yeah. It's a little it's a little different from how Drugged Fox and everyone do it, but like I find that's why live coaching works so well, because it's like I had a lot of concerns when I started like suggesting, like when somebody told me that they really thought that the like more live coaching stuff was like the way to go. I think it was Aiden like a long time ago, and like I was like, oh my god, like should I do this? But then he was just like, yeah, you should. And I was like, okay, well, you've never led me astray.
I almost got the up smash timing on them. I was so close.
I think that Shine just kills her at, like, in a bit. Okay, forward, up angle forward tilt.
That was supposed to be an up tilt, but you know what, I'll take it.
Honestly, after the first one, I think that the up angle forward tilt was actually better. Like, I think the first one was better as the first one was better as an up tilt, but I think the second one actually was better as the up angle F tilt with where she went.
Okay, I just reacted to spot dodge with another Shine like a freaking god that I am, I guess. So I'm flying a different kind of kite today, I guess. I don't know.
You look good. Like, damn. Like, I like this. You even DI'd well on the down smash too.
Yeah, that worked. No, that doesn't hit. Okay. Surprise. Not a surprise, I guess.
It's all good. Let's keep playing this person. This is a good opponent for us.
I'm just happy that I'm ripping the ledge dashes and like doing it without thinking. That's a huge thing because I used to have to like think about it so much to even remember to ledge dash. All right, wait, you're a Peach. You can't do shit if I just laser you, right? Like, what do
she can float over them.
Yeah. So like I can force her into that like awkward.
You think it's awkward, but it's kind of good for her though, like because she can attack over your short hop aerials.
Yeah, it's awkward for me, I think, but the idea is like if you know it's coming, you can set up the up tilt. We're just doing some Armada shit. Okay.
True, but like she did there, she can play a timing mix up to like fight back though. Like I know that wasn't against up tilt specifically, but like remember, her float lasts a long time. It's not like a standard jump. So like that's kind of like the trade-off. What I would say is really good against it, getting under the platforms and then like using the high laser, like high lasers, up airs, back airs, up tilts, even forward air to like cuz it hits a little higher. But yeah, like don't worry about it. Like just cuz like you know how to do those moves. Like this is just at this point.
Okay.
Okay.
Leg spike. Let's give ourselves a second. Are we good? All right, we're good. All right, you know how to get that. Okay.
Nice. Ooh, I like that choice. That was not what I was expecting.
That wasn't what she was expecting either.
Probably why it worked. Like it's a kill move like that at a good percent that they weren't playing around.
I was like that was such a weird little mechanical thing that just happened. I don't know how she got that.
She's shielding a lot. I would go for some. I think that she needs to be grabbed more.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Like, maybe not on this, because we've got, like, an edge guard going. Like, we don't need to reinvent... We don't need to, like, change what we're doing here. But I think on this fresh stock, like, we want to consider, like, throwing her more.
Oh, the jab. Why is Peach's jab so damn good? It's insane. Unreasonable.
Frame 2 set knockback always, does, like, a good amount of damage. Like, oh, sorry, a good amount of stun. It's just, like, everything, and it hits at high eye level. So it hits in, like the Sheik forward tilt zone. So, also, amazing. Let's go. But yeah, like, that's why it's good. Like, it's just, literally all the stats are good.
Oh.
Like, if it were, like, if it were a magic card, it'd be, like, a 1-mana 2/2. It's just like good in all the...
That's the metaphor I'm looking for.
Yeah, like, it's just good in all the right places. Like, it's a 1-mana... It's like a 2-mana, like, 3/2, or like a 1-mana 2/2. Like, it's just good in all the right spots. Like, it's just got the goods.
I don't know how I just pulled off that back air.
Honestly, you're playing really well. Like, I'm liking how you're positioning. I'm liking how you're moving. I think that, what you're doing has a lot of... That's a kill. Oh, my God. I was off.
The DI was... there.
No,
oh my God, Peach!
Let's go. All right.
Yeah, I'm feeling it, and I think a large part of it is just I'm actively distracted.
Honestly,
right.
maybe is the new meta like just listening to a podcast while we play tournament? Like, I don't mind this being
Falco. I don't know what that means for their mental state, but
I think honestly, I think that Falco is just a character that a lot of people play.
everybody just like he's fun, he's cool, he's fun, and he's exciting.
That's why I play him. Like,
oh, not the right spacing for that.
Also, Falco is the same jump squad as Peach, so like.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's not as weird of a transition as you might think.
Oh,
it's okay. Okay, we take a deep breath. I think we're too focused on like the fact that they're playing Falco and not like enough on like playing versus the Falco. Nice. So that's a kill. All right. What would you say Falco's colors would be if he was magic? I think that we agree that he's blue. Red blue? I still think he's got some black in him, but like I could see red blue. What would you say Sheik is?
Green. But like maybe green white.
Green. I put her at green blue because she's got like a similar control projectile. But I do agree that she follows like the flow of the game pretty naturally, so like which is definitely a green thing. I think
she has like the very natural pacing. I'm just thinking about like white likes like okay, that you've got that, sir. White likes small fast creatures and Sheik likes small fast hitboxes.
Yeah, that's true. I could see white. Honestly, I could see white blue. Am I crazy for thinking white blue?
I can imagine that. Yeah.
Because she's like also the kind of like she's the kind of like the police for like the low tiers, and I feel like that's definitely like a white blue thing. Like just being like, no, you don't get to play.
I think that's the blue that Falco also shares.
Yeah. What do you think Falcon is? I feel like Falcon is just red deck wins.
Yeah.
or red green.
W for sure. You did that, guy. They did not see that coming. There's Red Fox and Falcon are both REW. Well, actually, Red Fox is like red white aggro.
Like Lightning Helix, like Boros. Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that.
That's kind of what the vibe. But the thing is, like, Fox is 4 different characters in a trench coat.
Fox is like the best rushdown character, the best mid-range character, the best like runaway character. So yeah, he's like he's like like the second best full screen character. So it's just that
was perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very much like Fox. It depends. Like it's not Fox the character; it's the player playing Fox, and that's always the mind fuck. Because every other character, you're like, oh, oopsies, I am not that Falco.
Oh, they're gonna homie? Yo, this person. Okay, so I have somebody at like 8:30, but like, so I'm gonna have to or 9:30. So when we're done this, I'll have to go on the clock. But if you are having a good time playing and want to keep grinding against this person, that is a-okay with me. I can we can just write down the key takeaways later. But like, yeah, because far be it for me to tell you to stop playing like a session where you found someone you vibe with, you know.
I mean, let's take some time to wrap it up.
Sure.
I can I'll find them on misconnections or not. Who knows?
Sure.
23 ping means they're probably in the Oregon Melee Discord.
Yeah. So like and honestly, like if you can find them on misconnections, like this could be a really good training partner because they seem like a good level for you. Because it's like they're tough, but they're not free. Like they're beatable. They're totally beatable, but like. They can also beat you. This feels like a good opponent for you. At least from the characters we've seen so far. Maybe they just have like a next level ice climbers, but like honestly, maybe more people should fight next level ice climber players. Oh my god! Yo!
That was almost insane.
What do you mean almost? Like you almost got the correction. That was like sick. The most impressive part of that combo was that like even though you dropped the down air, you almost corrected it. Like by getting the back air and the laser. Like, that to me is the impressive part. Because like, anyone can hit that down air. The hard part is the improv when you mess it up a bit.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what sequence of moves I just did.
But it was pretty sick.
Oh. That was... Oh, spot dodge?
Hey, that's the thing we're supposed to be doing. Nice. Good shine out of shield, good conversion. Let's go.
Oh, my dash dance.
Oh, they got us. Alright, so we'll call it with the last 5 minutes, and we'll talk? Or do you want to play one more?
I just sent him a gotta go, so let's chat. Let's wrap things up.
Sure. So, talk to me. What was working for you? Like what do you feel was working for you from today? Because I definitely saw you like implementing more, like I saw you being more confident to like fight people. And I think that's good. We also got characters that were like a little bit easier to do that against, like until the end with Falco. But even versus the Falco, you seemed a lot more comfortable fighting him. So like, what is working? What moves do you find are working for you there? And what moves do you want to see? Like, do you want to develop further, I guess?
I think the biggest thing is that I was talking. And that I was not letting my rational thinking brain get in the way.
Okay.
And so even in scenarios where I was like, the unexpected was happening, or I wasn't like, I would get like where I would usually get caught in a little bit of mental hit stun, it didn't matter because the part of my brain that needed to catch up to do the directions for the next step wasn't there. And the part of me that was just doing shit was running the show. And so I was able to get stuff like that, correction after the down air, and you know, weird little things like that. I was actively trying to CC more, and I got a few really good conversions off of that. Definitely like none of it was very clear as I was playing to me that like there's a lot of room for optimization there. I was just kind of like, I would CC a hit and then just do a thing, whatever came to mind. And having a little bit more of a nuanced like framework for what to do out of CC against different characters, I think would allow me to really like maximize the punish I can get out of those. I wasn't thinking about my lasers. I didn't think a single laser related thought at all that entire time. I think at one point I said like, oh, I can just laser you, or you can approach me. To force to approach against the Peach, and that actually didn't work out. But when I was just like not thinking about lasers, just putting them in, like I was naturally putting lasers into the offbeats of what I was already doing, which I think is my probably best like actual habit that I have, is like I do that quite well. What else? My spacing, you did call out that my spacing was really good, particularly against that Peach. That's funny because I spent like 2 hours like a month and a half ago, like after getting absolutely dumpstered by the world's most like difficult Peach player. And I just watched my replays and I was like, how are they spacing around me so damn well? It was like fighting a brick wall, but the brick wall was never where my fist was. And so I think that was actually like a lot of those mental processes have been like churning in the back of my head, and like we're there. So that felt good.
Okay, perfect. So I'm just thinking of how I would integrate matchup study. The study showing when we're not engaging internal critic, evidence, Peach spacing today. Cool. So here's what I have for our key takeaways. And let me know what you think. But basically what I did was I just typed out like what you were describing and just kind of added a few notes, like a few pointers here. So the big ones are like, talking while playing is key. Do not let thinking brain get in the way. And when the unexpected happens, the thinking brain isn't criticizing, which allows for natural adjustments to occur. So that should be there. And then for mechanics, for things that like we're seeing like improvement on. So crouch cancel utilization, like you're using that, we can see where it can be pushed further. You mentioned that you wanted to build a frame for what moves are stronger versus different characters in different game states. So there are just some options for like things that people sometimes go for. Oh, we should have F smash in there because that one is quite good. I think that also not thinking aloud laser placement into offbeat location allows laser placement into offbeat locations. One thing that I would want to like build upon there is how can we use our attacks in scrambles in a similar in scrambles and scraps in a similar way.
Right. Just like if I don't have something, like not being afraid to just like hit the A button, throw a jab.
Throw a forward tilt, hit them. Like, see what happens.
You can't really whiff punish jab. Like, it's so fast.
Like, if they're whiff punishing jab, it means they read it. So, like, yeah. And then
they're also cracked out of their fucking mind, so whatever.
Yeah. Like, what's way more likely is that they option selected ASDI down and then, like, reacted. But then, like, if we know they're doing that, then we also know that they're holding down, which means that, like, other options are opening up. So, like, maybe...
grab.
Yeah, like maybe we're looking to green.
I've been slowly upping over the last few months. I've been slowly kind of finding more ways where grab is good. Because learning to play the game as Falco, you learned that the first thing you learn is like there's no easy conversions off of grab. And then it comes back around, like it circles back around way later where you're like, oh, the premise of Falco's grab isn't to get a conversion. Like sometimes it happens like after off ledge, but it's if they're shielding, I'm convincing them to stop shielding so that I can actually hit them with something like really juicy.
You know, you'd be surprised. Something that I'm going to actually give you for homework is homework. F throw and up throw combos. Because I hear that and I go, while you are technically right, you'd be surprised at how often those two moves, maybe on not like perfect DI, but like you'd be surprised at how often those two moves on like the mid-faller class, floaty class, and even for up throw on the fast faller class, how often those things like lead to punishment. So my homework is
set up on bad DI.
Well, we say bad DI, but remember, if we forego the pummel and just throw right away, we're throwing those characters like well before they can react to like to which throw we're doing. So like, if we forego the pummel, we can often throw them like some of the lighter characters before they realize they've even been grabbed. And again, some of like the heavier characters, even if we take the pummel, like distinguishing between forward throw and up throw is not trivial for like a lot of them, because those are both relatively quick throws. So my challenge here would be see what you can like combos and punish setups, because like sometimes like which would include things like tech chases, because I think you'll be surprised at like how much more value you can get out of your throws by just like tinkering around with a little bit. And I think that as we can see from like the peach spacing thing, when you're distracted and you're allowing the natural learning processes to occur, you are integrating this stuff. So it's clearly even if you spend like an hour or two on it to like really dig into what the different fall speed classes like and weights look like with these things, I don't think it will be time wasted.
Okay, yeah, I like that. That sounds good.
Perfect. I do have to go because I have somebody coming up, but I'll let you take it from here. And if you have any follow-up questions, let me know. And we're just going to continue on with the 2-week cadence, right? Around this time?
Yep.
Fantastic. Deek, it's always a pleasure. It's kind of nice being to nerd out with someone about magic, but I do have to go, so I'll let you go and take care, okay?
All right, see you around.